Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, everybody. Come on, wake up and win. Good morning. Good morning. Listen, y'all, I'm excited about today. It is Wednesday. It is Wednesday. And you all know how we feel about Wednesdays. On Wednesdays, we encourage you to celebrate your wins. But before that, come on, join me in the chat. Come on, say with me, wake up and win, wake up and win, wake up and win. Y'all might be wondering, why did she do that? Because letting out breath is a very healthy thing to do. Letting out air, letting out breath is a very healthy thing to do, especially in the morning time. So that's why we do that. But also just seems to work with the whole wake up and win thing. And today is a winner's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. And you all know the drill, but on Wednesdays, we encourage you to celebrate your wins no matter how big, no matter how small, no matter what they are, celebrate your wins. And today's win word is not today. But before I get into our win word for today, let me reintroduce myself. I'm Dr. Najuma, and I use this platform to come on and talk about winning, that you can go through a major loss, recover, and win again. Having gone through my own personal journey of loss and restoration, I try to share a daily win word and really using as a backdrop to um, our conversation, personal mastery tips and tools to winning again, right? So you can go through a major loss, recover, and win again. And one of the tools or one of the I don't want to say tools because it's not a tool. Well, it is a tool. Is personal mastery, and so I share tips around personal mastery that help us to win again, having gone through a very difficult loss or challenge or whatever the case might be. But you can recover from that, and still win again. And personal mastery is a great modality, if you will, a great method, a great pathway to take to winning again, having gone through a major loss. And so that's what we share here on this platform. And so thank you for being tuned in. Thank you for watching the replay. Please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. So let's get into our win word for today. As we said earlier, today's win word is not today. Not today. Now, listen, I have a t shirt that is a T-shirt by Nat Turner, and it just says "Not today, Nat Turner." Why? Because Nat Turner was one of our enslaved revolutionaries. He was one of our slave revolutionaries, led a revolt during his time. There was also a movie out about Nat Turner. It was a decent movie, but it really didn't tell the whole story. And then, of course, we have all seen and watched many various angles of what recently happened in Alabama, which they are calling the Alabama Revolt. And the fact that this Alabama Revolt took place. And then there's other names, the fade in the water, and all these other different things, right? And I'm not here to really discuss that, but to talk about the significance of that fade in the water, Alabama revolt, whatever. Not Alabama revolt, Alabama brawl. I'm sorry, I'm saying revolt. I'm thinking about the movie Nat Turner, the Alabama brawl, um, and we've all seen that those the mini clips of that. The significance of that taking place in the month of August, which is called Black August, where we take for Black folks all around this nation to recognize our Black revolutionaries, most of whom never really got justice or their just day in court. And so all those pieces kind of coming together this past weekend on August the 5th during Black August, um, it just makes for an opportunity to say, let's have this conversation. And the Alabama brawl we know started because um, a gentleman was jumped. He was jumped. It was a classic jumping. I live here in LA, and I've been around uh, gangs and seen it. It was they were jumped. He was jumped, and several other people came to his rescue. Right. Um, the thing about the brawl and why it is serving as such a cathartic moment for many Black folks in America, is because, to the extent to it's similar to why we also celebrate Black August. Like many of these revolutionaries, men and women who led revolts, who fought back against system of oppression, racism, white supremacy, did not get their justice, did not see justice, never experienced justice, never saw a just day. And so this brawl that happened in Alabama was serves as a cathartic moment for all of those names and faces and even personal stuff that people have gone through at the hands of white supremacy, white privilege, racism, right? And so it just served as a very cathartic moment. But it also serves to remind us the importance of setting boundaries, borders, really drawing a line of delineation and letting people know, like, this is not a line that you should cross with me. There was a line that was crossed on August 5th. There's a line that was crossed on August 5th, and those who crossed that line experienced the pushback of those who didn't want that line to be crossed. And the truth is, boundaries and borders are probably the most loving thing you can do for yourself, is establishing boundaries and borders, which is also why the brawl for those who have not seen justice, who've not seen things work out in the favor of their brothers and sisters, was such a cathartic moment, because finally it felt like the right amount, if you will, of pushback. Finally, it felt like we were standing up and loving ourselves. Finally, it felt like we were standing up and fighting back for ourselves. We were establishing that a line had been crossed, and you can't cross this line. And if you cross this line, you'll experience the pushback of that. And I'm just using all of that as a backdrop to really say how important it is for winning as a lifestyle, that you establish boundaries and borders with people, that you establish boundaries and borders for yourself, that there is a clear line of delineation, and that it's okay to articulate to people that this is a boundary and border that should not be crossed. And when that boundary and border is crossed, you'll experience whatever my pushback is, because I need to push you back on the other side of the line of delineation. And that it's absolutely loving, self-caring to claim, not today. Like, not today am I going to take another disrespect. Not today am I going to tolerate any more abuse. Not today am I going to tolerate any further um, negative conversation or negative talk. Not today. And establishing those boundaries and borders, and letting people know that there is a border and a boundary that they should not cross. And when they cross it, they will get your pushback. And it's okay to establish the not today zone. There should be a not today zone. Alabama brawl was a not today zone. Not today. We're not going to. You are not going to do this today, and you're not going to get away with it today. When we think about Black August and all the revolutionaries and all those that led revolts, they were saying, not today. We are not taking any more of this oppression, white supremacy. We're not taking any more of the uh, racism, not today. And I want to encourage all of you, and I want to share with all of you, that whatever stage of life that you're in, or wherever you are in life, it is okay to establish a not today zone and create borders and boundaries that people, individuals, systems cannot cross, and establish a not today zone and push back. And that is a healthy, self-loving, radical self-love kind of way of being, when you establish those boundaries and borders with people, and you establish them not for them but for you. And it is self-loving, it is self-caring, which is also why the Alabama brawl was so cathartic, because we saw individuals say, not today. You have clearly crossed a border, you've clearly crossed a boundary, and we cannot accept that or tolerate that. Not today. And I want to encourage you that as you are restoring, recovering, rebuilding, and you're thinking about how is it you're going to win, how to keep winning, day to day, you have to have those not today zones. You have to establish them. It is self loving, self caring. It is radical. It will make people uncomfortable because people who are used to abusing, people who are used to taking advantage, people who are used to manipulating you will not be okay with that. But we're talking about you winning. We're talking about you getting back up and winning. We're talking about you coming through whatever loss, trauma, challenge you've been through, restoring and recovering. And how do you go forward and you win? By establishing healthy borders and boundaries. And you tell folks, not today. And you also tell yourself, not today. And when people, and again, when people experience your borders and boundaries, they're not going to like it. Some people who have healthy boundaries and borders themselves won't mind. But folks who like to violate your boundaries and borders, folks who like to, step over boundaries and borders, they're not going to like it. They're not going to like it. But it's not for them to like. It's for them to respect. It is for you to respect. It is for you to establish as a sign of self love, self care, and respect for yourself. Establishing not today zones. Not today will I be talked to this way. Not today will I be treated this way. Not today will I be abused this way. Not today will I be mishandled in this way. Not today will I tolerate this kind of, violation, injustice, whatever that might be for you. Because it is an act. It is a sign of self-love and self-care. And again, this is why the Alabama brawl in the midst of Black August was so significant and so cathartic. Because it really was a loving for oneself, loving for one's brother and sister in trouble. It was an act of self-love, radical self-love, an act of self-care. You have crossed a border and boundary, and we cannot allow that to happen. Not today. So I want to invite you to think about your boundaries and borders, your not today zones. I want to invite you to think about that. Think about establishing those. Be really clear and mindful how important it is to establish those spaces for yourself so that other people know how they can and cannot approach you, how they should and should not treat you. Establish those for yourself. All right. So thank you for being tuned in to Wake Up and Win Live. We appreciate you. And remember to like, share, and subscribe. Join us tomorrow morning for another Wake Up and Win word. And yeah, like, share, and subscribe. Join us tomorrow morning. We'll be back here. Have an amazing day. And you know what we say at the end of every live: let's get up, let's get out there, and let's go win. Have an amazing day. We out, y'all. Peace.